One of the comments on last week's video was from Peeohcee. That's how I'm saying it. Was that it looked like a Rorschach test. So let's go ahead and try a ink blot type of design for this week. I'm going to go ahead and do two on the same shirt, one on the front, one on the back, just to give some variety. So, as always, 100% cotton t-shirt that's been soaked in soda ash for at least 30 minutes, and then I've spun it out in the washing machine until it's just damp. Let's go ahead and flip this inside out. Find the middle of the collar, something close to it. Well, this shirt is kind of skewed, isn't it? Let's see what we can do. We'll call it, that's the middle. I don't think that's the middle. And then we'll go to the bottom. Find the middle of this. And then we'll fold it. If you have any questions about how I'm doing this fold, there's a separate video just on how this fold is done. It's not really a fold. How to turn the shirt inside out. And the explanation as to why I do this. Alright, since it's two different versions that I'm doing, one on the front and one on the back, I'm not folding it beyond this. I've got the sleeves in here, and that's it. Well, we'll fix that at some point. Alright, so these are going to be random designs, so I'm not too concerned. I'm basically just kind of... Well, that marker doesn't want to work. Something like that, maybe a little smaller. So we'll just fold this up, tie it up a little, and I'll mark the other side and do that as well. So whatever kind of pattern you want. There's nothing special about this. See, I'm not even following it. Alright, just tie this off. Now there will be some spillover with the dye coming over into this, but even with that, there's going to be a lot of white space. Actually do this two more times because it's the only one. I want to make sure it actually holds. So this is very much a negative space design, and I guess I wouldn't have had to turn the sleeves inside out because I don't plan on dyeing the sleeves. Let's go ahead and do this. Now this side will be a little more cattywampus because of all this. Oh, I know, I'm getting a comment on that word. Alright, so there we go. And again, I'm not necessarily following this. It's just kind of a general idea. If you wanted to try and copy one of the Rorschach Test images, I guess you could lay it out and everything and go in and try to dye it. This is really just a negative space idea based on the one comment. It's a different idea than I've done in the past, so here we go. I am doing these fairly tight on these ties to try and limit the amount of dye that spills across, but realistically there's still going to be a fair amount of bleed through. Alright, so I've got this. All of the rest of this you could bag up or whatever to try and keep it from touching anything. It's kind of up to you. If you want, matter of fact, you know what? I might go ahead and do something on the sleeves too. Why not? That was harder to get flat. All right. There we go. I could always decide not to dye this if I change my mind in the next few minutes on the way to do this. But I'm not really much of a negative space person when it comes to these designs, so we shall see. Off to dye. Okay, for the colors I am using dark black from Custom Colors, Cerulean Blue from Dharma, and Oxblood Red from Dharma. The reason I chose these is because of how they split and the number of colors they have to split into. So what I think I'm going to do, this is the front, this is the back, and this is the sleeve. And I did put a rubber band around it just to keep it confined. So I think, see, I'm saying this now, but reality is I'll probably change my mind. I'm going to go ahead and open this up just so that it can have a little more ability to move the dye around and try to keep it into a more intricate pattern. That may not actually work, but it'll keep it from being a giant black mess if I were to tie it together. This one's pretty much like that too. This one I'm keeping like this just to show the difference. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to go with that for now. I might have to do some touch up with the ice placement because it might slip off. And I don't think I'm going to do anything on the back because of the type of design it is, so we'll see how it goes after the ice melts. So it's been about 24 hours since the dye was applied, and I pulled the ice off about 3/4 of the way through its melting because it had already flowed well past where I was expecting it to go at that point. So let's go ahead and do the washout. And for those that question how I do the washout, this is cold water only first, and that's to get rid of all the soda ash. If you get rid of all the soda ash in the white areas, you will have much less contamination or bleed through extra dye getting on the white areas than you would if you use hot water, because hot water will set it. Cold water will allow you to flush out all the soda ash, and then nothing should attach to those white areas. Okay, I didn't use any hot water this time because it was I'm concerned about more of it getting on the white areas. So I'll just wash it in 2 cycles, or a split cycle. The first will be cold, and the second will be hot to get everything set. So that's what it looks like on, what is that, the front. We have the back, and we have the sides. So let's get that in the wash and then we'll take a look. Alright, so here's the finished piece. Needless to say, you probably see a face in this. I mean, I certainly do. Mouth, eyes, all that mess. There's quite a bit of extra around the perimeter of the design. This was because of the way I handled it before I got it from the tray to the sink. So this is my fault. You could go back and actually bleach a fair amount of this back out. Not going to, since this is more of a test than anything. The sleeves look like that. So kind of what's expected. And to give you an idea, this is the part that was crumpled up. So these are tighter designs than this, which is a more organic and flowing. And if it would have been wet instead of damp, this would have been even more faded and pastel. So let's go ahead and look at the back side. Okay, I'm going to give up trying to center that. There we go. Alright, again, I see a face. Here's a little bit of, no, that's from the black because oh, that's not in the image. That's from the black because it has this brownish yellow tone that comes out of it at times. Otherwise, the back side actually looks pretty good. You can see where the actual tie line was, where the sinew, and kind of separates it up. It's larger than I expected it to be because, again, the ice caused it to move a lot faster than I thought it would. So leave a comment. Let me know what you think, what you see in these images for the front and back. I might comment later after everybody else has had a chance to see it, or at least after the first couple of days, as to what I see in these. And thanks for watching. Until next time.